playful, fun way. And so here we have all this broad range of different meanings with one card, and then we go into this integral definition of how we have to balance all of this seriousness with some playfulness. Nobody likes a boring person who can never have fun. And, it also gets tiring if you're around somebody too much who's not serious enough and not planning. And so, again, it's all about the balance. And if we go into just about any other, card in this arcana in the set, we can find again that there's a balance. There's a balance between our decisions and what we spend our time and energy on. So there are people who come to me for a reading, and I've noticed that sometimes they will be too focused on a relationship or not focused enough at all. This also comes up with the Fool in readings, and it very often shows up as either the person is putting way too much focus on their relationship and it's getting to the point where they're a little obsessed, or there's only so much control that they have and they need to back off. Because I've seen, too much of this attention or their worry or whatever it is, that the time that they're spending on this person that's actually pushing that person away from them, because they are becoming so obsessed with thinking about the person or worrying about the person or the relationship, or are they okay, or what is the label, or it can get really overwhelming for the person and for the other people around that person. And then eventually for the person having the reading, it can be overwhelming to deal with this sort of stress. So the nice thing about readings, when we do readings, we are tapping into the electromagnetic field, the aura, and we are not only reading it, but we are moving that energy up and out by making the subconscious conscious. And what that tends to do is when we talk about how it is appearing to the person, it begins to move and their life gets better. They draw more attention to that topic. They draw more attention to what they were just denying or stuffing or like head in the sand topics, and then they start to change them consciously. And that's the beauty of these readings. So the other part of this, focusing too much on the relationship, are people who come in and they're not focusing on them at all, but they want one. And I have to just draw their attention back to their subconscious and say, well, how much are you putting into this relationship? How much effort, energy, thought, everything that goes into either finding someone or really keeping up on a relationship or marriage or whatever it is, what have you. How much energy are you putting into it? I've had people who walk in and they say, I remember one woman said, I know exactly how to get a man and keep him interested. You just reject him all the time. And she just didn't care. She didn't care about these men. She didn't care about how they felt. And she really didn't care about whether or not she got serious with them. She just said it was fun to reject them all the time. And I've never been in that situation where I don't have that personality. And I wasn't really even sure what to say. But there is that aspect. Some people put almost no emphasis on their energy going towards their relationships, those people that they love, those people that they've invested in from the beginning, either with marriage, with children, family, work, friends, what have you, coworkers. There are so many relationships that we tend to invest in, and it can be a difficult balance for some people, not so difficult for others, to really put a balance on relationships and what that means, how to put that effort in, how to acknowledge that person. So when we also go into the Fool card, we're also looking at people, usually men, because men, they have this competitive nature. They tend to kind of get the girl or get the relationship or the marriage, and then they sort of are like, well, I already got it, so now I can just relax, and then they don't put a lot of effort into it. Of course, this can go for women too. I don't want to put it all on men, but most of the time when I've done reading, just because women come to me, most of the time, probably about 90% of the time, we've seen that these men have gotten complacent with their relationships and with how much effort they're putting into their marriage, because the competitive nature is that they've already achieved that goal. And men are wired so much differently than women that, we have to go back into reminding them that Well, you got to go back in and compete again to get the same attention from the same person. So the Fool can depict so many things in so many ways, and for each person with their own unique DNA, their own unique spiritual DNA, we can see all these different meanings to the card, just like any other card. But I'm focusing on the Fool today, and we're just kind of going into, the meaning and multiple meanings of it. That there's a balance there. That sometimes it can mean that they're not paying enough attention, and it could be that sometimes there's too much of a focus, and more of the time the too much of the focus can be on women. So when the men are not focusing enough, sometimes the women are also pushing them away by focusing too much and trying to nitpick every single detail, and they think that they need to do something about everything, or they need to look like this person on Facebook, or it needs to be this way or that way. And they get all of these little requirements that start coming up, and the guy just feels like he's suffocating. So then he kind of pulls away. So this can go a few different ways between the sexes. And then, of course, in a same-sex relationship, we have the male and female energies or personalities, which is very similar. And so when I say him and her, that's basically what I'm referring to is masculine and feminine. However that goes, and in some heterosexual relationships, the woman may have the more masculine features or the more masculine personality or energy, and then the male will have the more feminine. So that happens too, and those are usually the relationships that we hear people say, oh, I didn't know that the guy was with a woman, because you can kind of tell he's very feminine and he has, these certain traits. But when you pair him with the female who has a lot of masculine energy, they do very well together. It's when you have male energy and female energy that they get completely different, and then there's a whole new dynamic to deal with. So here we are with the Fool, the card. It's also the number 0, which means it's always in the background, it's always in the foreground. It doesn't have a specific number, which means that its possibilities are limitless. So that's another reason why I really love this card. It has so much flexibility and diversity, and it's a good example of when we do a reading, we're focusing on the picture, we're meditating on it, and we're seeing what comes up. There's so many different things that come up with this card. So most of the other cards, you could just have a cut and dry meaning to the card. It usually means one thing or the other, and then you focus on it a little bit just the same way, and then you have that little more clarity to it. That kind of manifests as you're looking at it. So I would just urge everybody to look at this card, to find the Fool card, to go ahead and go onto Google and look at the definition. I have a little definition that I just pulled up, and I agree with it. I think it's a pretty good depiction of the definition of the Fool card. This is on Biddy Tarot, and I really like Biddy, Biddy. It's biddytarot.com. And it gives you a generalized meaning. Now, when we see these generalized meanings of these cards, it's the general, very, very general. Every single one can always go one way or the other. Every single card, as we focus on it and as we meditate on it, I mean, it could mean something completely different. So Biddy says that it's in the major arcana, which is true, and it also depicts the Fool's journey through life and such. And he is ever present, and therefore needs no number. So there we went back to the 0. So I want to see what they say about the dog. Much of the time, he's also carrying a knapsack containing everything he needs, because he's a minimalist, I guess. So there we again, there's not a lot of prep involved in the journey. It's also a journey card. It also is depicting new beginnings, opportunity, and potential. So, when we talk about maybe the meanings behind this card that need a little work, we're also talking about new opportunities, new doors opening. So the Fool is a really wonderful card to talk about new beginnings, doors opening. It's different than the Hanged Man, but the Hanged Man is kind of the same depiction of new beginnings or new journey, new potential. This one depicts more of a naive nature, young nature, and experienced nature. Especially if somebody is in their first marriage, and they're kind of being pushed into this whole definition. They're kind of like having to deal with getting this definition thrown at them. So here we have this naive young man on the edge of a cliff. So the Fool is a wonderful card. I've worked with it for so long now, and most of the other cards I just get this straight meaning to it. But the Fool I have to look at for a long time. I really have to think about it, and it really challenges me every time. It's because it has such a vast amount of meanings to it. And what's really wonderful is that it can mean so many different things. So we have like the whole deck here. I have to show you this deck. It's really, really great. This is one of the better decks that I've seen. It's Norbert Loche's Cosmic Tarot. And it's just really, really, really awesome. I love this deck. Again, this was given to me, and I kind of got a few rare decks. So I will, I think there's a couple stickers on it, but there's this here. So this is the deck, Cosmic Tarot. This is definitely one of my favorites, but the depiction here in this deck has the sun, and it also seems to have some moons below that, like the different phases of the moons up to the sun, which I really appreciate. There's also some crystals, some quartz crystal on the bottom, flowers. There's a few flowers. So in some of the Fools, he's holding a rose. This is all symbolic of different things. However, the mountains in the back, those are the things to climb in the future. The moons are all there. This is depicting, when I say I like that it has the sun and the moons in it, it's because the sun represents male or father, and the moon represents female or mother. So instead of just pointing the finger at the men all the time, it's also depicting women. And I appreciate that because, I really like to keep both genders in readings. I like to make sure that they all feel comfortable getting a reading. I don't want men to feel left out. I don't want women to feel left out. And so it's really nice to have this very gender neutral deck, which I really, really love. So, yeah, that's basically my show today. I just wanted to go over the Fool. I felt very moved to talk about it. That this whole thing with balance is very important in our lives. And I really like to think of the Fool popping up in my head when I need balance in my life. It's sort of like a good go-to symbol to think about, how can I balance this out right now? We need balance in our lives. I need balance in my life. So how do I get this balance where I'm not too stressed about it going this way, and I'm not so carefree that I'm ignoring my issue, and then I'm just pretending it's not there? Because I think the other way to describe carefree is being neglectful or putting your head in the sand. Ignoring things as if they're not existing is not a good way to deal with anything. We have to give it some attention, even if it's a little at a time, until we're more and more ready. And what I realize is that the more that people do that, the more that they end up being able to really start to move things for the better in their lives. The more that they visit the things that are uncomfortable, or, if they're being too comfortable and they're being too careless, how much control and stability they feel that they have in their lives once they start to plan a little bit more and to really focus a little more on the future and what's ahead. So I'm a big advocate in staying in the present moment, because I think that relates most to the Godhead and where they are in the time frame. Don't think time even exists to them really in the way that it does to us, that they're constantly in the present moment, because that's all that is really there at this time. That here on this planet, we have the past, present, and future, which is all really just one time continuum. And so when I think about time, and this is how we can tell things from the past to the future, we can see it as readers. It's very easy to see it because it's all happening really at once, which is hard for a lot of people to understand. But to really be connected to the divine and to spirit and our own lives, I really feel like we need to not be worrying about the past or thinking about the future too much. Just living fully in the present moment, which also is based on the past and past results, and really preparing for the future, but staying in the present moment so we're not too detached from those around us that we love. And I think the Fool's a good way to keep remembering that the card is it's the card of balance and of really keeping things on a balanced scale. So that's my time for tonight. If you have any questions, you can contact me, Anna Olson, Intuitive. It's at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.
Hi, I'm Mark. Thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now, back to A1R On The Air Psychic Talk Radio Now on Moonstruck TV. Enlightening television.
Hi, this is Dream Reality, and I'm your host, Mary Amy, coming to you from A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. My site is listed at the bottom of the screen, maryamyofficial.com. I am an intuitive wisdom coach. As an empath intuitive, I'm able to connect to your inner spirit, which allows me to use my extrasensory abilities, seeing, hearing, feeling information about you. I'm here for you. I see the light, the hope, and the beauty of the universe. I'm a conduit to channel your dreams, helping fulfill your earthly purpose and course to personal enlightenment. On today's show, we have a topic and callers. Love. The dictionary definition, a noun, a strong affection for another, arising from kinship and personal ties. Wikipedia says, love is a strong, positive, emotional, and mental state, a virtue of kindness and compassion, affection for the good of another. Buddhism believes that there's 4 elements to true love: kindness, compassion, joy and happiness, and freedom. As a spiritual coach, I know of the importance of self-love. We've heard over and over again, we must love ourselves to be loved by another. So what is self-love? Well, self-love is accepting yourself and accepting yourself with kindness and compassion. It's about not settling. It's about setting physical, personal boundaries and protecting yourself from others. I always say this is where we should set our boundaries, and we draw an invisible line in our heads. It's about taking care of our well-being and happiness. Self-love can be accomplished by spending time alone so that you can become aware of your thoughts, words, and actions. And then you will have a stronger intention. And that way, you're able to create all the dreams that you want and all of the happiness and joy. How do you handle it? If you are in pain, if something traumatic has happened, or you're hurt by a situation or circumstance, what do you do? Well, one of the things that I recommend that I've always done is to journal. Get a composition book like this, a few dollars at the store, and whenever you're feeling like overwhelmed, just write down a stream of consciousness. We're not talking about looking at your grammar, and just let it go. Another possibility would be is if I've made this suggestion before, is to go down to a body of water and just let it out verbally. Let out the pain, anger, sadness, or fear. Cry, talk, and after you've done this, you're going to find that there's a space in you that's left. So now that you've let go of negative emotions and darkness, you want to replace it with light. You might have something that you need to forgive about yourself and let go of, or someone else. a few suggestions that I make to clients are, I know it sounds kind of funny to do, but would be to have a positive affirmation in the morning and just go to a mirror, and just look in the mirror and just say, I love you to yourself. And just try it and connect to yourself, eyeball to eyeball, and just say, I love you, and own it. You might say aloud, I love myself, I accept myself. I love myself, I accept myself. Here's a visualization technique. Close your eyes and visualize a beautiful glowing ball of light around your whole entire being, inside and out, so that you replace the negative emotions that you've released with light and beauty and hope. I also think that a good way of having an understanding of yourself is to keep track of your dreams. So I have this dream journal, which I've mentioned before, and I've been keeping my dreams since 2014. I write them down. If I feel like it in the morning, I write them down. I am creating a dream journal workbook, which will be available on Amazon. And I also have this book that's available on Amazon, The White Light Prophecies. Okay, moving on. I would like to tell you about my set. So all of the paintings on my set, I've created myself. I am an artist. I do not sell my work. I just do it. It's cathartic. So when I'm going through a situation in my life, I seem to want to paint. And there's been moments in my life, periods of time, where I just want to paint. And then that's all I'm doing. And I let it go. And so this painting actually started where it was a broken heart. And after things improved, I filled it up. This painting is about the sun, because the sun is so important to me. And I believe in visiting the sun as much as you can at the beach, watching a sunrise or a sunset. And then, of course, angels. I love angels. Oh, look, we have a caller. We have a caller from Fort Lauderdale. Travis, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Okay. I instantly received something related to a pattern. I want to say it's related to music. Let's see. Some kind of, it's definitely a pattern of something. It could be music, it could be a formula for something, but I want to say a formula isn't a replication, so maybe it's music. Let's see what else I see, or I sense. Something that's related to, I see some kind of light pink, let me see. How are you today, Travis?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I'm also receiving now a cloud of smoke. Something that's actually surrounding you, that's covering you temporarily. But it's pretty strong, actually. I'm getting that it's about around your whole being. It's a dark covered cloud.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Yes. Oh my God. Jesus. Yes. Wow.
Okay. Do you want me to go in a direction?
You know what? I want to say something to you. Can you hear me very well? Can you hear me very well?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, let me explain this to you. You are on point, because you know what? I've been trying to figure out, because I'm a spiritual guy, and I've been trying to figure out why it's been such a darkness around me. Like there was something that was trying to keep me back, hindering me from doing things or going places or prevailing to things that I desire. But this is familiar to me, and it amazes me that your spirit was able to identify that instantly through the sound of my voice. You're awesome. Right now, at this moment, that is what I am in process of trying to break.
Okay, so let me just say, okay, Travis, let me just talk. Okay, so what I'm receiving is there is this energy. It's a very strong darkness. It's related to the end. It's the end of something that's lingering. But there, I do see, it's interesting. I see this entity or thing. I want to say this dark energy, but I do see that you can swipe right past it because I see light blue. I see this little skinny narrow pathway. You can escape this. It's not the end all. In other words, you can get past this. And you're saying that you're working on your spirituality, or you're trying to become more spiritual. Is that what you're saying?
What I do? Yeah, well, let me explain to you. I like to pray. I'm a strong prayer warrior, and I like to pray. Very, very wholeheartedly. I love praying, and not only I pray for myself, I pray for a lot of people because I have such a positive spirit. I just feel that it's just been some people. Even I had to say this, but it's true. There's even people in my family that have such envy or such a hate towards my spirit, but because of the person I am and the love that I have within me, I push myself to prevail beyond negativity or beyond the things of what I make sense spiritually in other people in regards to how they may feel about me. And not only that, I've had a friend of mine, I believe he tried to do some harm to me, and it only doesn't fall on him. There are some other people as well that even included in my family. I feel in my spirit that has been trying to do some wicked things to try to do the things to my spirit.
Okay, what I've experienced, I'll tell you, in my life is it's very interesting. So there's the people, there's the humans, and then there's other dimensional beings, or people talk about spirits or darkness or being, some kind of other being. If you're starting out right now and you're working towards your spiritual light, human beings are going to take shots at you if they're jealous or threatened and they don't know how to take a higher vibration. You have a higher vibration. The best thing to do, I suggest, is to try to avoid all of these people and not share what your plans are. Because when you share your plans, then they have a chance of sabotaging you.
Oh my God. I cannot see why I am right now. Wow. And I had a knack for doing that. And I told myself, Travis, you have to stop. Stop telling people what you want to do.
Yeah, stop telling. Because, you don't have to tell anyone. If you really feel the need to talk about it, write it down. Don't tell any of these people, because you have to get farther along on your way away from them so that you have made it concrete. So if you have a plan, don't tell them. You make a list, okay? And on this list should be the positive people in your life. And if there's nobody there, then don't tell anyone. Because those are the only people that you should be telling any plans to. And I still don't believe in doing that. I believe when you want to manifest something, you don't share it with anyone until you already are in the throes of it, because people will try to take you down. They don't know what to do. They don't like change. You're transforming. So get past this. You're totally capable. I can see that actually the pathway's gotten bigger since we've been talking, interestingly enough. And now I'm seeing light up the other side of the pathway. You just don't share your plans with anyone, and then you know what's going to happen? You're going to start to get people that are around you that have the same thinking as you, the same plans as you, the same intention as you. And you know what? I don't fault people. I don't say that I don't like anyone, or I don't want to cause anyone any ill will. Yeah. So basically what I do is I just want everyone to be at peace. So I say they haven't figured it out yet. And that's what I do. And I just kind of put them over there and I keep moving. That's my suggestion.
Okay.
So I would say just stay on your path, start to make plans, have your own intention, and you will lift this above you. Okay, so some ways of getting rid of it. You know what would help you, I believe, Travis, would be to have sound healing. What's sound healing? Sound healing is Tibetan singing bowls in the space, okay? Saying aloud positive words, love, peace, light, nature, gardens,
okay.
Positive. Just keep saying that, because then you start to bring just light around you, and everything will shift, and before you know it, all of these negative people will kind of move away, or they'll accept you for the way you are instead of fighting you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep,
It was so
absolutely.
nice talking to you, and I hope that you check out my website, maryamyofficial.com. I have a Facebook page. I'd love you to like it. You can write a little note, and we can talk about what happened today, or if you want to ask me another question. I also have an Instagram. Okay.
Okay, and thank you for your time, and thank you for your sincerity and genuineness. I appreciate your spirit. You're very bubbly, welcoming, and very approachable, and I am thankful for this experience.
Oh, it was a pleasure talking to you, another light being. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye. That was beautiful. Oh, we have another caller. Let's see. It's Kate from Wales.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm really good.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Okay, so let's see. I instantly received that. Let's see. I see a lot of plans. I see that I'm getting that you're someone who likes to keep moving. You are pretty stable. You don't have high highs and low lows. You're someone that can comfort someone if they're sad, but you definitely keep your thoughts to close to your vest, except when it comes to a few close people that you have in your life. I would say that you're practical, and you're someone that if there was a job available, people would hire you, because you have an energy about you that is trusting that they know you'll get the job done. Is there a direction you would like me to go in?
Is that what? Sorry?
Is there a direction you would like me to go in, or is there a question that you have?
Yeah, like, can you see any sort of big changes in my future?
Okay, so I'm seeing, it's interesting. I'm seeing a grassy meadow, and I'm seeing over the grassy meadow, I see something that's there, a goal or a desire of yours on the other side of it. So what's the time frame? I would say in the next, I don't want to be so lame as to say 3 to 6 months. I want to say there's going to be a change. It's not tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm seeing, I don't want to say 1 month. Let me see. I'm sorry. I would say closer to, okay, it's 1, 2, it's between 1 and 3 months, or 1 and 2 months, 1 and 2 months, I would say. There's a change.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so now I'm seeing yellow flowers, which is very positive. I love yellow flowers. Okay, let's see what else I see. Okay, let's see. Change. Okay, so it's going to be a happy change. I see that it's a joyful change for you. It's actually positive. It's a positive change. I see that it's actually interesting. I'm seeing that you're going to have to kind of take off to get there. It's going to be up. It's not going to be I don't want to say an uphill battle, but I'm going to say that it's a little bit of a hill to get there. a little, so you have to look past whatever's going on to get to it.
No, that's really interesting. Because I'm nearly qualifying as a yoga teacher. So, and I work as a nurse already, but the place that I train in is like over this grassy meadow in the mountains in Wales. It's beautiful.
Interesting.
It's a positive change that I'm doing, but I do work anyway full time, and yellow flowers.
Yes.
I'm sat here now. Actually, where I'm sat now is a grassy meadow. I live on a mountain, and there's yellow flowers in front of me.
It's a good change. It's a good change for you.
I feel that.
I'm happy. You know what this is going to do for you? Kate, this is going to give you a release. Doing this is going to change you because you're someone who has you have a strong foundation. Your being is a very strong foundation, and you will be able to be really good at this job. This is going to be a great job for you. And it's going to be actually more freeing in your mind. You're not going to be so restricted. And I think it's going to be a beautiful break for you. Just a lovely break for you. That's wonderful.
Definitely.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just have an exam that I need to pass at the end of the month, and then I'll be okay, or the beginning of next month. So,
so I see you diligently. I see you diligently working, but you will pass that, and you're going to do much better than you think.
Oh gosh, I haven't worked so far, so I don't feel very positive.
No, but I see that you are.
And leave the rest,
Well, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the show, and I hope that you follow me on my website, maryamyofficial.com, or Facebook, and I post videos. It's exciting to talk to someone in Wales, and I'm in New York. It's amazing.
It's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kate. Have a wonderful day.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
and you. Goodbye. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Well, we have a few moments left, and we know that I didn't get a chance to do the gemstones last week. And in my mind, I'm trying to figure out which ones did we already do. Well, I have an answer to that. Regardless if we've done this one already, this is a rose quartz, which is a love gem. And since my topic today was love, I'm presenting you with this love gem. And it's feminine tenderness and compassion and peace. Yay! Some exciting news is next week I will have a guest, Elizabeth April, and she's coming to me from California. And Elizabeth April has a huge following, and she knows all about some otherworldly creatures. She knows all about aliens and UFOs, and she's a very interesting girl. So I'm really excited about having her next week, and I would appreciate it if you have any questions. You can message me on my Facebook page or through Moonstruck TV or A1R Psychic Radio. I want to thank my producers, Constance Solomon and Dave Solomon, for producing my show, Dream Reality. And I really want to say thank you so much for watching me, and I'm getting a little emotional, watching me and listening to me, because this is really meaningful to me. Let's try to find the beautiful glowing light in our hearts, and have a great week. create love and happiness in our lives and joy. I'm going to remind you about a go-to nature scene before I go. I just remembered. What's a go-to nature scene? It's a beautiful scene that you visualize in your head, that when you're feeling sad or upset or scattered, you visualize this nature scene, and it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a beautiful waterfall. It can be a forest of trees. I always had a field of flowers. And when you're upset, just go to that nature scene, and it's amazing what one positive thought can do. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week on Dream Reality, A1R Psychic Radio, and Moonstruck TV. MaryAmyOfficial.com. Thank you.
New York City celebrity psychic. I've got slightly pageant hair today, so forgive me. And how are you? It's good to see you, and thank you for being here. If you are here. If you're not here, never mind. Okay, hi. So, I don't know if you noticed, it was a slightly grumpy day today. I had a friend, my friend Elizabeth Grace, who's been on the show a couple of times, and she's a Wellesley educated, very posh astrologer, one of the best in the world. And she called me this morning. She was like, essentially, don't get out of bed today. I'm like, oh, that's exactly the permission slip I've been looking for. But if you notice today, she said that there was this moon in Capricorn, which apparently means that people are kind of all about like doing things right and being a little bit ruthless in a nice way. Or not actually a nice way, because ruthless isn't nice. But she also said that there'd be a lot of sort of grumpiness around, and people would be kind of spoiling for fights. So if you had that kind of day, she says it'll be better by 11 p.m. So go to bed now. No, after the show. And so also today, if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to wish my big sister, Tony, a happy birthday. And she gave me $20 to not tell her age. So, and I first met Tony, who's my full sister, when I was 25 and she was a little bit older. That $20 a long way. And so one thing I just wanted to say today is if anybody out there ever feels like everybody else has a perfect family and you know, people who look good on the outside, they have it all made. I'm just telling you, they're just not telling you what's going on, okay? Because everybody in the world, except like 2 people I know, are in really screwed up families. And God bless us, everyone. We do the best we can. And we just keep loving people, no matter what. So, and some days that's a lot easier than other days. So, the other thing I wanted to share is a couple of you. Oh, hi, we've got Leah in Victoria, Virginia. Oh, I've got a friend right there. Hi, love. Do you mind hanging out for a minute? You want to grab a snack or something? I'm just going to do like the psychic weather forecast. Are you cool with that? Yes, all good. Can I fix my hair? Is that good too? Pageant hair. Okay. So one sec, hang on, breathe deeply. like that, except not as goofy. Okay, so picking these cards out, we're going to do the psychic weather forecast for the week. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems like there really is a kind of psychic weather. The old German word for it was like Zeitgeist, which means sort of spirit of the moment, spirit of the times. And it seems like every few days, everybody I know is going through really similar stuff. I mean, not exactly similar, because that would be weird, but similar stuff. And this week has been a lot about, I've noticed with my clients and my friends, some of whom overlap, that it's been a week in which we're learning to get out of denial about what we want people to be, various people in our lives, and start to learn to accept them for who they are. And that's been a big theme this week. So if that's come up for you, just know you're not alone. Okay. Oh, cool. I'm using a new deck today. It's called the Illuminated Tarot. It's quite good. And it's a little hard to see, but apparently a teepee is the first part of this week. And the teepee, for reasons that are rather unclear to me at the moment, in this deck, indicates kind of just success, that not a huge success, a teepee-sized success. Success that you've been kind of chipping away at, like doing a little something every day for a while to get something to work. Okay. And so the TP, this is a great deck. Honestly, I'm still getting used to it because I'm a Rider-Waite girl. But apparently the people in this TP have been hard at work. You see the little implements there. They've been sawing and hammering and doing other mysterious things, as people in teepees do. And that was not an anti-Indigenous people's remark. That was just me being goofy. So it means that the little things, the hammer that you use to tap in like 5 nails in the morning, or the little things you've been doing are suddenly going to pay off in a really nice way. The second card is sort of a Pisces card. And for all you Pisces out there, rock on. I'm one too. And Pisces is a little about being dreamy. The sign is 2 fish swimming in opposite directions, which can signify either conflicting desires or the fact that fish are kind of stupid. But this is a good week to do Piscean things. So contemplation, meditation. Some Pisces I know drinking a lot, but maybe not that. But it's a time to sort of go inside and breathe deeply and think about what you really want, and then who you have to shoot to get it. I'm kidding. I do not believe in violence, except for ex-husbands. Didn't say that. Oh, and the last one is the Sun card. Now, 7 is considered a lucky number in almost every culture. And the Sun is considered lucky because if we didn't have it, it would be a very cold, short, brief life. But the Sun is about a kind of happiness that you weren't expecting, and sometimes might not even feel prepared for or even deserving of. But the Sun is also happiness with children. So if you don't have any, write some. If you do have some, hang out with them and just enjoy the greatness of that. And if you're a multi-godmother like me, go take your kids to the bowling alley or buy them presents. But so this week is starting off with small efforts, finally bringing you a success of some kind. Not a huge success. You're not going to be like emperor or something, but that's next week. But a success that's meaningful. The second card is about taking some time for contemplation and meditation. And the third card is saying that prepare yourself for happiness that you're not prepared for. You know what I mean? Okay, we've got Leah in Victoria, Virginia. Hello, Pumpkin. How are you? Thank you for being so patient. How are you today?
Hey, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice to hear your voice. So if you watch this show, you know that I like to ask people when their birthdays are. You don't have to tell me the date because I won't tell you mine. But it's how I connect to you. So do you mind telling me what your birthday is?
Yeah, it's in November.
Any particular day? Or just
Yeah, the 28th.
It was a long labor. Oh, that's a great day.
Yeah, it falls on Thanksgiving this year.
a lot of years. I have a lot of friends at that birthday. There's the beautiful socialite and vegan cookbook author, Cornelia Guest. That's her birthday. Okay, let me see. So would you like, do you have a specific question, as long as it's not about geometry? Or would you like me to just do sort of a general deep dive? Or I feel like there's a couple of things.
General.
Okay. This feels, oh, I like your energy. It's nice. It's yummy. Okay. You know, I get this with cool women on the show a lot. And I get, maybe it's just the last couple of weeks, but I'm getting a lot of very smart, very accomplished women who are over giving in their lives. And maybe not ask. Yeah. Bingo. Busted. Yeah. You know what? I know the feeling. And that's a beautiful quality, but you're such a good person that you can take a couple of weeks off from overgiving and be selfish, because your idea of being selfish is other people's idea of being Mother Teresa. So for the next couple of weeks, that is something I'd like you to sort of look up the phrase self-care on the internet, right? And do everything they tell you to. And also, if you get in touch with me, I'll send you a little book on tape about boundaries, because I'm learning about those. And I think it might be a good time for you to start saying, there's a magic word, repeat it after me, no. Hey, Leah, I want to leave the office early today. Would you mind picking up my 3 kids, doing my ironing, and I don't know, stuffing my dog? Okay, maybe not that. Right. But so repeat after me. After I say, Leah, would you mind doing everything on my to-do list for me in the next 10 minutes while I go lay in the sun? And so here's what you say. Ready? No.
No.
Good girl. Yes, you just changed your life. Yes. Well done. You're very well liked at work. I don't think they know quite. Sorry, my pageant hair is bothering me. Did you just change your hair recently? Or are you planning on doing that?
I did.
Yeah. Well, I am actually psychic. So, so at work, I feel like they take you a little for granted. Let's fix that, shall we? So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because, again, it's a chick thing, man. And if you're a guy, I'd be like, it's a man thing, man. But it's because you're a little modest about calling attention to what you do, because you don't want to seem show-offy or, seem a little show-offy. You can do that because you're doing kind of 1.5 to 2 people's jobs for the pay of one. I would like that to be fixed. So maybe you can start keeping a little log of what you do, like just kind of so you can show it to your boss when it's review time. And okay, yeah,
yeah, I've thought about that myself.
Who's the little girl with you? Because there's a beautiful little girl. Do you have a little daughter?
My daughter. Yes.
Oh, well, wait a minute. She's not so little. I'm seeing her when she was little. How old is she now?
She's 6.
Oh, okay. I should have said 6 because that was what I was getting. There you go. Is she 7 in July? She seems like a water sign, I'm going out on a limb here. What day is her birthday?
So her birthday is April 7th.
Oh, well, I was totally wrong. It had to happen someday. But she's got a very, she does have a very fiery thing to her. Is she a little firecracker?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. What's her call? Let me see if I can get her. Yeah, that would be correct. Yes, you would have that right. The nice thing is, are you and her daddy not together? Is it okay if I ask that? You can lie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And that's a little hard for her because she's kind of a daddy's girl. She loves you, but you're so perfect and so there that she This is a sign of perfect motherhood. She completely takes you for granted. But here's what I would say. I think maybe her dad doesn't always, how can I put this, dwell in the palace of truth. So the most important, that was tactful, wasn't it?
Yeah, nail right on the head with that one.
Well, yes, he seemed familiar to me from some of the men I've been with. Not the current one, though, and we'll get back to that in a second. Let me see what time it is, because I want to give you some time, but okay, good. So,